Welcome to Research Business Daily Report, made possible by RBDR's exclusive community at the crowdfunding platform Patreon.com. Please visit patreon.com/RBDR, where you can find out how you can help us in return for the value we've been bringing you throughout 2018. I'm Bob Lederer. So what kind of a year has it been in 2018 when I've heard almost no concerns about the state of business, and by that I mean revenues, from any research agency? So it appears to have been a solid, if unspectacular, year for research companies. But the conversation has regularly turned to changes in the research fraternity, mostly about how traditional research methods and their outputs have been getting less and less corporate attention, while analytics, for the most part, and to a lesser extent artificial intelligence, big data, and the like, have been grabbing the attention in the C-suite. This year, we've continued to experience an onslaught of supposed new research methods, modes, and minor upgrades in current capabilities. But I remain of the opinion that there's too many new research technologies and methodologies that are being rolled out. An emphasis is on the word new because most of it is just not new. I spoke to a client market researcher a few months ago who told me that basically I was right. She had been exposed to 50 or so new research ideas in a year's time, and when I asked her, she said maybe one or two were actually better, faster, and less costly. This year, we also saw a renewed attempt to create a data quality initiative, which continues, and I think that's a positive thing to look at. Now, I can't speak for the industry as a whole, but RBDR viewers are all in, at least as evidenced by the noticeable bumps in our viewership every time we spoke about data quality. For instance, I look back to one about panel quality and another one about fraud that really had significant bumps for us. Undoubtedly, the overriding story of this year has been the surprising downfall of all of the research industry's traditional power players, something that none of us would at all have been thinking about even a year or two ago. Nielsen's retail research, or what I refer to as its traditional scanner-based sector, which has really been the foundation of much of the business, was so battered that Nielsen swept out much of its top officers, and the company was driven into consideration of alternative operating plans, which include, right now, sale of the company. GfK, whose business has been stumbling along for several years, decided its future is in digital research, so it sold off much of its traditional research operations to Ipsos. And Ipsos, which has been shuffling along for several years, acquired several GfK divisions in the hopes of taking control, I think, of various traditional research sectors. Now, we'll all be watching to find out what becomes of that proposition. WPP's advertising agency business lost an amazing volume of revenue from major advertisers, and simultaneously, its Kantar research division suffered a chipping away of its foundation. That led to the departure of longtime chairman Sir Martin Sorrell and the decision to make up to 80% of the Kantar research operation available to anyone who wants to buy it. 2018 was the year that two high-profile privately held companies that garnered a lot of publicity, SurveyMonkey and Qualtrics, gained new ownership. SurveyMonkey conducted a long-expected IPO. Meanwhile, Qualtrics announced an upcoming IPO, but then chose at the last second to sell itself. The success of both ventures will be interesting to track in 2019 and beyond. We've had an interesting time at RBDR in 2018, including linkage with Patreon.com, and we hope that many of you will join us as patrons before this year ends, or in the worst case, early in 2019. I think if you sit back and consider what you've gained from just viewing RBDR day after day for over 45 weeks this year, you will join us in believing that support of the continuation of RBDR is in your best interest. This being our final RBDR for 2018, We want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we look forward to greeting you back here on Wednesday, January the 7th.